New challenger.
In one scene from the movie Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee was originally set to fight against his opponent, Bolo Yeung. However, due to interference, Bolo Yeung ended up fighting another one of Bruce Lee's comrades, and the fight concluded quickly. But believe it or not, Bruce Lee was actually supposed to engage in a battle against Bolo Yeung. The fight choreography, the camera crew's shot list, and other necessary preparations had been meticulously planned. However, an incident behind the scenes led to the cancellation of this epic battle between Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung. So, what exactly happened? The cancellation of Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung's fight in Enter the Dragon has been recounted many times. Rumors suggest that the incident began when they were at a bar. Someone asked, if Lee and Bolo were to fight for real, who would win? Bruce Lee replied that it wouldn't be a fair fight. His reasoning was that he was a martial artist, while Bolo was what he referred to as a bodybuilder. Lee's comment, calling Bolo a bodybuilder, reportedly sparked an issue. Bolo believed himself to be a Northern Eagle Claw style specialist, a martial artist first, who later ventured into bodybuilding. Because of this remark, Bolo challenged Lee to a real fight. Unfortunately for Bolo, Lee managed to defeat him. Interestingly, despite this confrontation, Lee did not hold any animosity toward Bolo. In fact, several years after their fight, Lee personally called Bolo and invited him to appear in Enter the Dragon. Bolo accepted the offer. Who would have thought that this film project would actually give Bolo the chance to settle the bitter score of his defeat in a bar years earlier? Believe it or not, throughout the production of Enter the Dragon, Bolo challenged Bruce Lee to fight countless times. Confident in his abilities, Bruce Lee gladly accepted each challenge. In the end, it became clear that Bolo could never defeat Lee in a real fight. Lee won every single challenge. However, these confrontations inevitably impacted the production of Enter the Dragon. This was because during the final scene, Bolo refused to film the fight sequence with Bruce Lee. Whether it was due to hurt feelings from his consecutive defeats or fear of facing Lee again, Bolo's refusal caused the script to be rewritten by the director. As you've seen in the final version, Bolo ended up fighting a character played by John Saxon. Nevertheless, if you're curious about how a fight between Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung might have played out, certain scenes from this film might give you a glimpse. Take this particular scene, for example, where Lee and Bolo engage in a genuine one-on-one battle. At the start of the fight, both showcase their striking techniques, each trying to overpower the other in pursuit of a sweet victory. However, Bruce Lee's focus was beyond anyone's expectations. When Bolo tried to throw him down, Lee managed to counter it effortlessly. It didn't stop there. When Bolo launched another attack, Lee's impressive concentration on his opponent was remarkable. Even Bolo's kicks failed to land on Lee. Finally, a deadly kick from Lee rendered Bolo unconscious. It was truly a spectacular fight. In another moment, we see Bolo Yeung directly facing the legendary Bruce Lee. However, this time it was different because Bruce Lee had a clone who also possessed impressive martial arts techniques. Although the clone was quite skilled, neither Bruce Lee nor his clone was particularly strong in this scenario. During their fight, Bolo seemed to dominate the battle. Even when the two teamed up, both Bruce Lee and his clone struggled to match Bolo Yeung's power and skill. Could this be the time Bruce Lee finally loses? That said, it doesn't mean Bruce Lee didn't have a chance to turn things around. As it turned out, shortly after, Bolo received a strike that left him impressed by Bruce Lee's abilities. The fight didn't end there. A combination of attacks from Bruce Lee and his clone landed a powerful kick to Bolo's face, causing him to grimace in pain. At another time, Bolo Yeung once again squared off against the legendary Bruce Lee. And this time, we see how Bolo continued to endure strikes from his formidable rival. At the start of the fight, the two showcased a fierce and intense struggle. They exchanged one powerful blow after another, each trying to outdo the other. However, after a few exchanges, Lee appeared overwhelmed by Bolo's strength. Several of Bolo's strikes managed to hit Lee directly. Refusing to give up, Bruce Lee tried a few techniques to outwit his opponent. To everyone's amazement, these tactics succeeded in making Bolo wince in pain. In the end, Bruce Lee focused his attacks on Bolo's injured leg. And yes, this forced Bolo to withdraw from the fight altogether. Even so, there are many who doubt Bruce Lee's fighting abilities, believing that he wouldn't be as great in a real fight. But is that really true? To answer this, let's look at this moment where Bruce Lee demonstrates the power of his punches. At first, Bruce gave someone else the opportunity to throw a punch. That person's punch seemed ordinary. But when Bruce Lee delivered the same punch, the audience was left in shock. How could they not be? The legendary Bruce Lee's punch caused the person to stumble back several feet. Bruce Lee was also invited to a show for an interview. However, it wasn't just an interview, he was also asked to showcase his martial arts skills. Take this moment, for example, where Bruce Lee split a board in two without even taking a running start. And that's not all. Bruce was also asked to demonstrate his kicking abilities. Witness how his kick was so precise and lethal. It was truly astounding.